Test, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so sound is fine. Okay, so sound is fine. The Palace of. The Palace of. Yeah, you can hear me. It's good. Okay, so for this stream, I wanted to talk about shame because that has been a very it's been a theme that has been popping up for me in the month of February. So what I mean by shame, right? So shame is it basically has to do with the way you were treated when you were a kid, uh, in response to your behavior. So everyone has something that they're ashamed of internally. It could be a kind of behavior that they're doing. So maybe they're, a smoker or a gambler, and they're ashamed of that because of how society has painted these behaviors. Or maybe some people are ashamed of their body, their body image. Um, so the month of February has been a lot about healing these feelings of shame that are lodged in our bodies. And the way I came to realize this was the amount of clearing that I've been doing for the past few days. I realized that ever since I was a child, I never really had the freedom to like express myself. So whenever I tried, I would always be met with like the emotions of shame from like the way I would do things is kind of weird, and like the other children, they think I'm weird, and so they make fun of me for the way I acted, the way I perceive things in my life. So that creates a lot of emotions of shame, right? Because it feels like I'm different from everyone else around me. I can't. I'm not like them, right? So that these feelings of shame then create this. They create this sort of unwillingness to be myself, to share things, to put myself out there, to be honest with who I am as a person, right? So everyone has something they're ashamed of. Some people are ashamed to, show people what they're working on in terms of like projects, their art, uh, what they think, their views, their beliefs. And the reason why this is important to address now is because as long as you carry these emotions within you, you will always hold yourself back and you'll never achieve your full potential. You will always find some way to convince yourself that something is not for you, right? So, let's say you really want to let's say you really want to become a doctor, or let's say you want to become a Twitch streamer, right? So you want to stream games for a living, and you just play video games all day. But you're going to carry feelings of shame with you, and those are going to prevent you from following your dreams because it's different from what your parents want you to become. Parents might want you to be a doctor or something. And so, because you carry these feelings of shame, of inadequacy, you're not going to follow your dreams. You are instead going to do what everyone else around you wants you to do. And so you'll go to school like a good little boy. You'll listen to your parents, whatever they tell you. Um, and you'll basically live your life on a standard that is not your own, just to please others. So the energy of people pleasing also stems from emotions of shame. The desire to want to fit in also stems from shame, because we are shamed if we stand out from the crowd, right? We are seen as rebels. We're seen as people who are trying to cause trouble. These are all labels that society and the people around us use to keep us trapped in the energy of shame, which is another word for like judgment, right? So we judge people that are different from us, because by doing so, by keeping them in this state of the emotion of shame, then these people are afraid to step out and do what they want to do. So if I want to convince a child to stop, let's say, running around the house naked, I can't tell him that it's inappropriate, because he's not going to understand it. Instead, it's more effective for me to shame him and make him believe that what he's doing is like indecent or unnatural. I create feelings of shame and guilt in him for what he's doing, and in that way, he will come to the conclusion himself that what he's doing is seen as, something that is indecent. And so we create the concept of shame in order to manipulate others to act the way we want to act. This is true with body image. This is true with person's hobbies. This is true with how much money you make. This is true with what kind of job title you hold, right? Janitor or office worker or CEO or entrepreneur. So this emotion of shame is very prevalent in human society, and it's very important to look at all the behaviors that you have and ask yourself why you act the way you do. And whether or not you're acting that way because you truly do act that way, or it's because you're trying to avoid the emotion of shame. I'll give you a good example, right? So for the longest time, I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to put myself on camera and create videos. And then I made up a lot of excuses as to why I shouldn't. Such as like, I'd be too noisy, or I would interrupt my, family, or people might not like my videos. Or whether or not they'd even turn out well, right? So all of these excuses I had, all these reasons, were basically due to the emotion of shame. I believed deep down inside me, these emotions of shame influence me to have these thoughts. So these thoughts aren't actually mine, right? These thoughts come from the emotion of shame, making me feel as though I'm inadequate. And then that prevents me from being able to do the things I want, like shoot YouTube videos on camera, or stream this video while I'm playing this game, right? So before, I would be very, hesitant to show people what I'm playing. And so, the best way, I guess, to overcome these emotions of shame that you have is just to go ahead and do whatever it is that you're most afraid of. Because most of the time, when we have a certain fear or emotion that's stuck inside of us, the only way to get rid of it is to do the opposite. So if you're afraid of, let's say, public speaking, because when you were a kid, people shamed you of your voice. People shamed you because of your voice, or maybe because of the way you presented yourself was kind of awkward. And so you carry around the emotions of shame, and that's why you say, I like to avoid public speaking. It's not that you're actually afraid of public speaking, it's that you're afraid of being judged, and you're afraid of the emotion of shame, of messing up. Uh, and so that prevents you from doing the things you want to do because you perceive yourself as lesser compared to your peers. So why is it important to address them and catch them when they pop up? Well, it's because if you don't, then the emotion of shame is going to pervade your life, and it's going to infect all the other areas in the things that you want to do. So you will not have confidence to, let's say, ask out that girl or guy that you really like. You will not have the confidence to follow your dreams. You will not have the confidence to speak your mind. You will not have the confidence to set boundaries when people are crossing them. You will not have confidence to have fun, to laugh, to express your emotions. It's all very underneath the surface, and any sort of like secretive behavior. So the best way to spot this is like if you are acting in like kind of secretive, or you're trying to hide something, or you're not expressing something, that's probably because of the emotion of shame that is underlying, that is causing you to behave in those manners. So the month of February, there's a lot of energy coming in, and it has to do with healing those emotions that are rooted in guilt and shame. So February is a great month if you have those issues to start dealing with them, to start reflecting on them, and just letting the energy go. You don't actually have to take action. You don't have to put yourself out there and like in an attempt to get rid of it. It will just happen for you automatically. And that will then allow you. So what I mean by automatic is that just realize that this is what's currently going on. The energy, it's supporting these kind of changes. And so over time, you will find yourself having the confidence to maybe try new things. And what some people do is they might resist it, right? They'll be like, oh no, I should stay in my comfort zone of shame and not express myself and put myself out there. But what you really want to do is once you have those emotions in your, once you have those emotions that are purged from your system, then you have the freedom to live your life the way you want to, and you don't have to deal with the emotion of shame holding you back anymore from the things that you want to do. And that's when you go out there and you feel inspired to do the things that you were too afraid of doing before. And that's how you know. And as you do this more and more, again, this will happen naturally. There's no need to push it. The more and more you do this, the easier it becomes. And then the less weight you feel that you're carrying. Like you feel lighter, right? Because you're getting rid of all this emotional, I shouldn't say emotional, energetic baggage that's stuck inside your body. This energy is like old, it's stale, and it has to go because it's holding you back from the person you want to become, it's like you're carrying um, a heavy backpack on your back all the time, right? You don't want this weight on your back because it doesn't do anything for you. It just holds you back. It's painful as well, right? Because it puts stress on your body, unnecessary stress. Um, it weighs you down. It slows you down. And it's a nuisance to deal with. And this nuisance has to do with the negative emotions, and for, again, February, it's the negative emotion of shame and guilt. So that's what I wanted to share with you on this stream. If you had these kind of like emotions kind of coming up for you, things that you didn't want to look at before, it's time to look at them now in the month of February, when the energies are very conducive to helping us purge these negative emotions once and for all. It's time to be brave and look at them, analyze them, and release them. One of the easiest ways to do this is just to focus on the area in your body, so where between your belly button and your solar plexus. So your belly button corresponds to your sacral, which is your second chakra. That has to deal with guilt. And your solar plexus, which is just right below your sternum, your rib cage, that is your third chakra, and that has to deal with feelings of shame. So you may feel some sort of uncomfort or like blockage or pain there. If you do, that's a sign that you have energy blockage in those chakras that are preventing you from living a life of confidence, of being proud of what you're doing. And the most important thing to realize is it has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's just whether or not you have pride in what you're doing. So for example, you might feel feelings of shame when you're playing video games because you have this belief that you should be doing something better with your time. But it has nothing to do with playing video games. It just has to do with the emotions that are going through your mind and your body when you're performing that activity. So there's nothing innately shameful about playing video games, for example. It is just that you have been conditioned, again, from outsiders' opinions as to how you should feel when you're performing a certain activity. It has nothing to do with the activity itself. So it's all in your mind. It's all to do with your perception. That's it. You change your perception, the emotion is gone. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. The action doesn't matter. So that is the most important thing to realize. Because most people are like, I'm feeling emotions of shame or guilt. That means I probably shouldn't be doing that activity, right? No. It just means that you shouldn't be thinking those thoughts. You need to change those thoughts. You need to be brave enough to say, the beliefs that I've been holding until now are wrong. The people that have judged me are wrong. I decide for myself what is good and what is bad, right? Because you are the creator of your own life. You are the one that decides how you want to live your life. No one else is going to decide that for you. So you could say February is almost like a test, right? It's like, do you want to live? Do you want to be the one who controls your life, or do you want to continue to let others control your life and dictate for you what is right and wrong? So we all kind of have a choice to make. And February is going to be about making that choice in everything you do. So yeah, that's it for this video, I guess, the stream. I just wanted to share that with you because it was a big theme that's been popping up for me. I recently cleared a lot of energy inside myself that had to deal with shame, so I figured for anyone else out there who may be struggling with certain issues or certain pains that are popping up in their body and they're wondering why, well, the reason why is because we're clearing it all out. So in order for it to be cleared out, in order for it to be in order for us to get rid of it once and for all, things have to get worse before they have to get better. So if things are kind of going bad for you, if things are getting worse, that's the reason why. So yeah, that is it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And let me know what kind of content you want to see moving forward, right? Because this YouTube channel is for you guys as well as myself, those that are embarking on spiritual path, who may have questions but don't necessarily have answers. And so I'm here to provide you with answers from my own perspective, and these answers come from basically living life and going through things without any sort of guidance. And so I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there relates to you guys and helps you out, because when I was in those states of like not knowing what was going on, what I really wanted was someone to provide me with guidance and advice, so that so that I could confirm for myself that I'm not crazy. So yeah, um, see you all in the next video. Peace and love to you all. Have a wonderful day, and namaste.